podcasting's choice. From coast to coast, continent to continent, right here 24/7.
PNR.
Blueberry.
This podcast is a member of the Blueberry Network. Blueberry. No E's. That's Blueberry, BLUBRRY.com. Blueberry.com.
This podcast is a proud member of the Lamb Podcasting Network. Find the network at largeassmovieblogs.com.
On air, online, on now. From the hub of the universe, Boston, Massachusetts, USA, this is Subject Cinema, with your hosts, T.C. Kirkham and Kim Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome TC and Kim.
It's day 3 of Subject Cinema's 2019, the year in review. I'm TC Kirkham.
Hi, I'm Kim Brown.
Subject Cinema number 642.
Yep.
Day and date, December 30th, 2019. We have a little bit of a production problem as we were getting started.
The hamster died.
Yeah, I had to go reinstall the wrong program here because I got the advanced version.
Now you've got Frankenhamster.
We're using the old one right now, so hopefully it'll work okay. I'm not used to doing it for a while. We said we had started these on our first show, and we didn't get a chance to continue them on yesterday. So we're going to bunch them all together today, and that's the many people we said goodbye to this year.
Yes.
We covered January through March on show 1. And show 2, we're going to do segments here paying tribute to these people that we've unfortunately lost.
Yep.
Starting at on April 3rd, with actress Carmelita Pope. She's probably best known for her role as Streetcar Named Desire, but she was in movies and television for many years, from the 40s through the 70s. She was 94. And British actor John Quarmby, is that how you say his name?
I think so, yeah.
He was 89. Best known for all of his different episodic stuff he did in England and around the world.
He was definitely a British, hey, it's that guy.
Yeah, and he was best known for one episode of Fawlty Towers.
Yes, the last episode that was aired, Basil the Rat.
And also the TV pilot K9 and Company, where he played Sarah Jane's confidant, who turned out to be a bad guy.
Yep.
So, interesting.
April 7th, we said farewell to Seymour Cassell. He was 84 years old. An American actor and another one of those, oh, it's that guy faces, those people that you see in everything. He was in films including Faces, The Royal Tenenbaums, and Dick Tracy. On April 9th, Charles Van Doren passed away at the age of 93. That's a name that a lot of younger people definitely don't know, but what happened with this man was a big scandal back in the burgeoning days of television, way back in the 50s.
Van Doren was the man who blew the whistle, was he not, on the game shows of the 1950s?
Yeah.
When he was appearing on the TV series 21.
Yep.
He admitted he'd been given the answers ahead of time and caused a whole bunch of scandal.
Yes.
He went on to be a respected academic, as he was at the time, and came out pretty much unscathed. He was lived a long life. And
when
when
they made the movie Quiz Show about that whole scandal, he was portrayed by Ralph Fiennes.
Yep. Interesting casting.
Yeah.
April 10th, country singer Earl Thomas Conley passed away. He was 77. Conley hasn't had big career in the 2000s. He's best known for most of his hits in the 80s and 90s. Mm-hmm. And another beloved actress that everyone knew and adored, Georgia Engel, passed away on April 12th. She was 70. Georgia was all over television. Most recently, she did Hot in Cleveland with Betty White and a few other people.
She had that completely identifiable voice.
Yeah.
The second you heard her voice, you knew who that was.
Most people knew her as Georgette on the Mary Tyler Moore Show, where she spent several years as... First, she was by herself, and then she married Ted Baxter near the end of the series.
Yeah.
She was also the mom on Jennifer Slept Here with Ann Gillian for a while. Mm-hmm. Bibi Andersson on April 14th passed away. Bibi was one of the muses of Ingmar Bergman, doing The Seventh Seal, Wild Strawberries, Persona. She was a legend in her native Sweden and around the world, actually. She's seen all over the place in all these movies.
April 21st, we said farewell to Ken Kercheval. He was 83 years old. Ken was an American actor best known for his work on the small screen on the series Dallas as JR's perpetual rival who never quite got back at JR as much as he wanted to, Cliff Barnes. Yep. He also appeared in Network and The 7-Ups.
April 23rd, one of our favorite voice actors, Edward Kelsey, passed away. He was 88. Edward was both a voiceover actor and a regular actor. He appeared for many years on the radio show The Archers on BBC Radio. Best known in America, probably, as Colonel K on the television series Danger Mouse during its original run in the 1980s and early 90s. Yes. Also did voiceovers for Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were Rabbit, and many, many other things.
Larry Jenkins, who was also known as Flash Jenkins, passed away on the 25th of April. He was 63. He was in such projects as Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Fletch, and The White Shadow.
Probably best known for The White Shadow, where he was one of the basketball team members.
And Jesse Lawrence Ferguson passed away on April 26th. They were an actor as well in America and were in such films as Prince of Darkness, Darkman, and Boys in the Hood.
He had a pivotal role in Boys of the Hood, where he played one of the cops on the show. And just 2 days later, we lost the man that made that movie at a very young age. John Singleton passed away. He was just 51. He suffered a massive stroke and passed away just 2 days later. Yep. In addition to his work that made him a star in Boys of the Hood, he was also a director and producer on movies like Too Fast, Too Furious, and Snowfall.
Yep.
And April 30th, one that's close to Kim's heart.
Yeah. April 30th, we gave the universe back the gift that was given to us when Peter Mayhew passed away. He was 74 years old. He was an English and American actor best known as the gentleman that was inside the suit as Chewbacca the Wookiee in the original Star Wars saga and in other Star Wars, projects as well. He had a heart attack. He was 74.
I don't think our next passing person has to wait anymore for Marlon, because Marlon's long gone.
Yeah.
Jim Fowler passed away on May 8th. Jim was best known as the sidekick of Marlon Perkins, and then later the host after Marlon left.
The whole while Jim wrestles the alligator, I'll be up in this tree talking about Mutual of Omaha's life insurance.
He's the Jim that Marlon Perkins was talking about.
That running joke.
He hosted shows right into the early 2000s and was 89. He remained to be one of the top zoologists in America. Alvin Sargent passed away on May 9th. He was a very prolific and well-known screenwriter, winning an Oscar in 1978 for Julia and 1981 for Ordinary People, I believe. Also wrote Spider-Man 2, or contributed to Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. May 11th, Peggy Lipton passed away. She was 72. Came into the public consciousness in the 60s with the TV show The Mod Squad, and was involved in films like The Postman, and was also on the David Lynch show Twin Peaks in the 90s. And the one thing I remember from that show was people going, "Oh my gosh, Peggy Lipton's in this show, and oh my gosh, she still looks as gorgeous as she did back in the 60s." And she really did. She was a very classy lady and loved by a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Professional wrestler Silver King also passed away on May 11th. He was 51. In America, he's probably best known for a short run in WCW.
Yep.
And also for his co-starring role in the Jack Black movie Nacho Libre. 51 is very young.
It is.
Even for most people, but for a wrestler, that's extremely young, even though a lot of them do go younger than most of us, unfortunately.
And
May 13th,
May 13th, we said goodbye to Doris Day. She was 97 years old.
Colonel Potter's favorite actress and singer, yep.
And she was very well known for her films these were, I don't think it's being inaccurate to refer to a lot of her films with her usual co-star as Rock Hudson as the early versions of rom-coms.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Oh, yeah, they were.
I mean, every generation thinks they invented everything. Trust me, y'all didn't invent the rom-com.
But she was also, a well-known dramatic actress, too, starring in The Man Who Knew Too Much with Jimmy Stewart, doing several Hitchcock films.
Yep.
And, of course, she had her own sitcom for several years on CBS, which used her signature song, Que Sera Sera, as the theme song. She also later on did an animal oriented show for the Family Channel, I believe. May 14th, American icon Tim Conway passed away. He was 85. You put Tim and Harvey Korman together, you're going to be sitting laughing yourself sick for hours.
Yeah.
Tim, best known as character actor who starred in McHale's Navy and later as part of the ensemble on the Carol Burnett Show.
Yeah.
People think he was on there all the time. He was actually just a guest star for the first 8 seasons. He was only a regular the final 3 seasons. Yeah. And it's like, wow, he's so great. And of course, he was the voice of Barnacle Boy.
The grown-up Barnacle Boy on SpongeBob SquarePants. I said when Tim died that one of the greatest things that human beings can give each other is the gift of laughter, and I really hope that earned him a mansion in paradise because he made so many people laugh.
He did.
Also on May 14th, an internet celebrity passed away, Grumpy Cat.
Otherwise known as tartar sauce.
Yep. Grumpy Cat was 7 years old and passed away from a urinary tract infection. She had that name. She was a she.
It was a she.
She
Tartar
was a
sauce
she.
was a she.
Yes. She's been in countless memes with her.
They actually did a couple of TV movies.
Yes,
about
with her
too.
rather permanent scowl, which was caused by a medical condition.
Medical condition that was pretty much similar, which I would say was the cat version of the affliction that affects Gaten Matarazzo, the CCD, this cranial something dysplasia. It's the same basic idea, only it's cats that happen with cats. Okay. So
May 16th, we unfortunately lost Ashley Mazzaro. Ashley was a professional wrestler. She worked for the WWE. She was also a model. She appeared in Playboy. She had appeared on the reality show Survivor. Ashley was 39 years old and committed suicide.
Yeah,
and
unfortunately, there were too many people that committed suicide this year.
Very sad.
Legendary architect I.M. Pei passed away on May 16th as well. He was 102 years old.
Gosh darn.
Pei created some of the most iconic buildings of the 20th and 21st centuries, including the Bank of China Tower, the East Building of the National Gallery of Art, and the Louvre Pyramid. His works are considered absolutely essential for study in architecture circles around the world. And American author Herman Wouk passed away. He was 103.
Yeah.
Wouk was best known for his work as an author, although he also did do adaptions of screenplays for his stuff. His movies, his books were made into movies every time. The Caine Mutiny was one of his.
Yes.
The Winds of War was a massive miniseries in the 80s. And War and Remembrance, the follow-up to that. He also won the Pulitzer in 1952.
May 20th, we said farewell to Niki Lauda, who was an Australian racing driver. Austrian. What did I say? Austrian?
Yeah, and you said Australian.
I did. I'm sorry. I looked too quickly. My bad. An Austrian racing driver and an airline owner, because those two things go together. whatever. You're going to go fast one way, go fast the other way, I guess.
Well, Lauda Airlines has been one of the most successful
Yeah.
European lines over the last 20 years. In fact, when they had a major crash a few years ago, he himself spent tons of his own money to find out what the cause of it was. He was an amazing man.
Yeah. He was also a Formula One world champion 3 times. That's really impressive. 1975, 1977, and 1984. He was 70 years old.
Rene Goulet, you know...
I know Rene. I know Rene.
Yeah.
Rene Goulet passed away on May 25th. He was 86 years old. He was
no, he wasn't related to Robert Goulet.
No, he was not related to Robert Goulet. As far as I know, anyway.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. He was a wrestler from Canada and worked in both the American Wrestling Alliance, which I know a lot of people who are younger than 20 don't remember.
What?
And look it up. And also worked in the WWF at the time. I remember seeing him, and at a lot of older shows when I used to go to the Boston Garden, back when there was a Boston Garden.
Well, there still is now. It's just called the TD Garden. It's a lot nicer.
Yeah, after it's had 75 different names. But anyway, we digress. Renee was 86.
Also passing away in late May, Carmine Caridi. Carmine was a character actor that played heavies most of the time. He was seen a lot in mafia-oriented roles, like in The Godfather Part 2 and in Bugsy. But my generation, your generation, may know him better as the father of musician Bruno Martelli on the television series Fame. He played that role for 3 seasons, both of Fame's network seasons and the first season in syndication.
Yep.
He was 85.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Peggy Stewart passed away. I'll do it. On May 29th, she was 95 years old. An American actress. She was in such films as The Fighting Redhead, The Life and Legend of Wyatt Earp, and That's My Boy.
She was known mostly for westerns, and she was. There's not very many westerns that went by that she didn't have some sort of part in.
Yeah.
In May 30th. We lost legendary singer-songwriter Leon Redbone. He was 69. Today's generation probably remembers him best as the singer of the theme from Mr. Belvedere. But before that, he was on, always doing the circuit with his little, I don't know what you'd call that act of his. It wasn't really pop music. It wasn't really old-fashioned music. It was it was almost performance art. He would play, it was a very, I don't know, maybe it could be considered blues? Or bluesy pop, but he was popular.
Pop with a blues edge to it.
He was popular on the talk show circuit and on Midnight Special in the 70s, and will always be remembered for that. British actor Paul Darrow passed away on June 3rd. Darrow probably best known for his long-running role on the television series Blake 7, opposite Gareth Thomas. He was the kind of rough and ready bad guy.
Was he Avon?
Yeah.
He was Avon, who was a real big fan favorite character.
He was. He also appeared in Doctor Who and a number of other things. And Robert Earl passed away on June 5th. Earl is not known to anybody of this generation, I'm sure, but he was a well-known television person in the 1950s and 60s. I believe he started as a college professor, or at least involved with college television. But he was best known for most audiences as the host of the original GE College Bowl, which ran from 1958 to 1969. College Bowl was basically a collegiate version of the shows you see around the country, which pit 2 teams of high school kids against each other.
University Challenge and all that.
And it came back in the 1980s with Alex Trebek hosting it. Singer-songwriter Dr. John passed away on June 6th. He was 77. The New Orleans-based musician, best known for pop and blues mixtures, is probably best known for his 1972, I think, or 73 hit, Right Place, Wrong Time. He had that very gravelly voice that made him very distinct. Listen to him all the time. Very popular artist of his day.
June 9th, we said goodbye to Bushwick Bill, who was a Jamaican-American rapper and member of Ghetto Boys. He was 52 years old and passed away from pancreatic cancer. In case we haven't said it enough on this show and other shows, cancer sucks.
It does. June 12th eccentric actress Sylvia Miles passed away. She was 94. Sylvia was known for being a little bit out there when she was doing her movies and stuff. She did everything from as diverse as Midnight Cowboy, which she's probably best known to most audiences for, along with Farewell, My Lovely and She-Devil. Wasn't that the movie with Roseanne Barr and Meryl Streep?
Yeah.
Wow.
Based on a book.
Yeah. Okay.
June 13th, Sean McCann passed away. He was 83 years old. He was
the true definition of a Canadian. That's that guy.
Yep.
That guy there.
He was in such films as Night Heat, Tommy Boy, and Naked Lunch, and he was 83 years old.
Did lots of TV from Canada in the 80s, too. Made appearances on shows like The Edison Twins, Danger Bay, and TNT, among other things. Director and filmmaker Franco Zeffirelli passed away on June 15th. Zeffirelli was 96, best known in America for his 1967 version of Romeo and Juliet, which spawned the hit song from Henry Mancini, A Time for Us. He also did the TV movie Jesus of Nazareth and a remake of The Taming of the Shrew. He was also an Italian senator in the 1990s and 2000s.
Yep. June 17th, Gloria Vanderbilt passed away at 95. She was a socialite. She was actually a socialite that was different from today's socialites who were famous for just being famous. She actually did stuff.
Famous for being Cardassians, you mean?
Well, I didn't want to name drop. That's rude. She was an artist. She was a fashion designer, and I wanted to be the one to bring up her name and her accomplishments simply because when I was in junior high, you could not turn around and not see her name on the butt of one of the girls I went to school with. Everybody who was anybody. That was the big status symbol, was it that if you owned a pair of Gloria Vanderbilt jeans, you were one of the top girls.
You know what's interesting? I wonder how that affected her son.
How do you mean?
Well, I mean, he's our age. Her son is Anderson Cooper from CNN. He was around our age, so he would have been going through the, oh my God, you're wearing my mother's name on your butt. You know, that must have been interesting.
Yeah.
Author Judith Krantz passed away on June 22nd. She was best known for, as she once described it, trashy romantic novels.
Yeah.
Including Scruples, Princess Daisy, Until We Meet Again, most of which were turned into TV movies starring Joan Collins.
I would like to bring up, speaking as somebody who worked at a bookstore for a number of years, trashy romantic novels that sold.
Oh yeah. She was very well known.
There were three authors. There were three authors we could never keep on the shelves. She was one of them. The other two were Danielle Steele and V.C. Andrews.
Oh, not Barbara Cartland? Oh wow.
We didn't sell a lot of her stuff. Strangely enough.
Stephanie Nisnik died on June 23rd. She was 52. Best known for her TV role in the TV series Everwood, but also for her parts in Star Trek Insurrection and Life is Wild.
June 24th, we said goodbye to Billy Drago. He was 73 years old and passed from complications due to a stroke. He was one of those actors that you see everywhere, and when you see him, you're like, oh crap, things are going to get bad. He very rarely, if ever, played a good guy. I honestly cannot think of any role he ever played that was a good guy. He was part of The Untouchables, the movie version with Kevin Costner and Sean Connery. He was on The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr. He appeared in Pale Rider. He was another one of those, hey, it's that guy.
He was a crazy looking, hey, it's that guy.
Oh, yeah.
His son was actor Darren Burroughs of Northern Exposure. Steve Dunleavy passed away also on June 24th. Steve, best known here in America as a reporter on the television series A Current Affair, but he was Rupert Murdoch's go-to guy for over 20 years, first in Australia and then here in America as part of the New York Post staff. But you did get a lot of television time in the 1980s and 90s.
Yep.
And on June 25th, actor Brian Marshall passed away. Brian was a British actor, best known for a lot of British television movies and films. He appeared in The Spy Who Loved Me, in the Quatermass in the Pit, and The Long Good Friday. Today's audiences might know him for his cult film BMX Bandits, where he plays the bad guy opposite Nicole Kidman in her first film role.
June 26th, we said farewell, or au revoir, if you prefer, to Edith Scobe. She was 81 years old, an actress from France. She was in, many films.
She was the star of Eyes Without a Face.
Eyes Without a Face, one of the most upsetting films I've ever seen. I mean, I've only seen parts of it because I was like, that's it, I quit, I'm out. She was also in Summer Hours and Holy Motors. Tadao Takashima passed away on June 26th as well. He was 88 years old, an actor from Japan that was involved in more than a few kaiju films, including Atragon, which I actually have never seen, Frankenstein Conquers the World, which I have seen and is weird as beep, and Son of Godzilla, the film that gave the world Minya.
Oh, God.
Stop that!
Actor Max Wright also passed away on the 26th. He was 75. Max was all over television in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. Today's audiences would know him best as the dad on Alf, or the boss on the short-lived but cult hit Misfits of Science. He was funny as hell when he was on Alf, and that show was great because of him. Made a great deal of fun to watch.
June 27th, American professional wrestler Max Muscle passed away. He was 56 years old. I think most people would probably remember his time in WCW as him being the backup / hench weasel for a heel Diamond Dallas Page at the time. Other than that, his star didn't rise all that far, sadly. No, but I definitely think he's missed by family and friends.
We will have the next 3 months of the year and those we've lost
when Subject Cinema returns.
Good times and great movies. Subject Cinema.
eCinemaOne is your choice for great info and commentary about the world of film and entertainment. Daily trailer postings, the latest news and film reviews, commentary about the state of the industry, the weekly Subject Cinema and 3-Minute Weekend podcast, and so much more you won't believe it. New material is being posted daily, so join us each day and see what you're missing out on. Once you visit, you will always be back for more. eCinemaOne from PNRNetworks, eCinemaOne.com.
We probably can't cover the thousands of films made every year, but it's sure a lot of fun to try. Subject Cinema.
Hey everybody, welcome to our look back at the year 2019, and we're saying goodbye to a lot of people that have passed from this plane of existence, and we hope you're joining us here on Subject Cinema. I'm Kim Brown.
I'm T.C. Kirkham. We have yet to go another year-end show with our favorite stuff of the year. Let's get back to those that we've lost this year, though. Yep. On July 1st, Sid Raman passed away, or Raman. He was an American composer, Oscar winner in 1961, and Grammy winner in 1961 for his music scores. Among them, he had done West Side Story, Too Many Thieves, and Stiletto. And another Canadian wrestler passed away, Jacques Rougeau Sr., obviously the father of Jacques Rougeau Jr.
Yep. He was the Senior Rougeau was 89. He was as TC mentioned, a Canadian professional wrestler. Also on July 1st, we lost Jerry Seltzer, who was 87 years old. He was a promoter of American roller derby, and I believe was featured on. I think he was featured on Roller Games
he was on a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
He did the old style roller derby that still airs on ESPN Classic every now and then. He was part of Roller Games. He was part of Roller Jam. He's been part of everything.
Yep.
He was a true legend in the business. On July 1st, Tyler Skaggs passed away. Tyler's death shocked the entire sporting world. He was just 27. He was one of the stars of the Los Angeles Angels at the time. They weren't sure what killed him. It turned out to be a drug overdose, unfortunately.
Yep. One of the bastions of capitalism passed away on July 2nd. I don't know how else to word it. I'm sorry. Lee Iacocca was 94. He was an executive with the Ford Motor Company and also with Chrysler.
A TV spokesman for Chrysler as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
He and a writer. He wrote the book Where Have All the Leaders Gone? And was also featured in lots of jokes from the 80s onward about, excess and blah, blah, blah.
Right, yeah, he was.
It was
Carson had a field day with him.
It was the 80s. Ask your parents.
The original Dirty Old Man on television passed away also this...
Although he was a young man when he was being a dirty old man. Yeah.
July 3rd, Artie Johnson passed away. Artie was 90. Artie was... He did all kinds of things over his 35, 40-year career, but he's still best known for The Dirty Old Man and his German Soldier, two characters he played and originated on Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In.
Yep.
Very interesting.
But stupid. But Artie wasn't stupid, and we definitely miss him.
July 6th brought another shocker. Cameron Boyce passed away. Just 20 years old, Cameron died of an epileptic seizure just a week before the premiere of the sequel to his hit Disney Channel film, The Descendants.
Yep.
He was also seen on Jessie and Grown Ups over the years and considered one of today's fastest rising stars. It's such a shame to see him lose at just 20 years old.
Yeah.
Amazing young man.
João Gilberto, I hope I said that even close to correct, passed away also on July 6th. He was 88 and a Brazilian singer-songwriter and guitarist and a pioneer of the musical style known as bossa nova.
Yes, João will always be known for his massive 1962 hit, The Girl from Ipanema, which featured his then wife Astrid on lead vocal. Oh. Eddie Jones passed away on July 6th as well. He was 84. Jones is one of those guys that you see, one of these rough and tumble everyman guys, usually plays anything from a store clerk to a handyman to a construction worker. He was in everything over the years. Just in the last few years, he was a featured player in A League of Their Own and The Terminal with Tom Hanks, and made regular appearances on Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman as well. On July 8th, and we got to talk about this one because this was kind of weird. Do you guys remember who Rosie Ruiz was?
If you're from Boston, you do.
Rosie Ruiz faked a win at the Boston Marathon in 1980. She was 66 when she passed away, and there was some question when she passed away if it was really her that passed away. They apparently thought that she'd been seen in Florida, but it did turn out to be actually Rosie. I don't know what possessed her to do that.
I don't either.
And it was.
Believe me, it got a lot of press.
Why does New York have problems with their marathon the way Boston does?
I think they have. Well, hey, let's not do that. I remember when this happened, and it caused quite a furor in the local media and such. July 9th, Freddie Jones passed away. He was 91 years old, an actor from Great Britain, best known for his work on the British soap Emmerdale, the TV show Ghosts of Motley Hall, and the film Dune, which I think every British actor at the time was in. Everybody.
I think almost every British actor is doing the new version too.
Everybody who had an actor's equity card or the British equivalent was in that movie.
I wonder if the people who are making Dune are watching what's happening with Cats right now. Ross Perot passed away on July 9th. Also, American billionaire, philanthropist, and presidential candidate in 1988 and 1992 and 1996. Excuse me. He was the original founder of Electronic Data Systems. He created the Reform Party, and as we all know, he quit and then didn't quit and then quit again. You know how? Yeah. And this time, I don't think he's not going to quit anymore.
No, I think he finally quit.
Yeah,
I think that's.
He was 89.
Yep. Also on July 9th, Rip Torn passed away. He was 88 years old. An American actor that had been in pretty much dang near everything you could think of, from the small screen on things like the Larry Sanders Show, where he was basically
that's his best known role. I think.
Well, that's his best known role on the small screen. Yeah. On the big screen, he was the leader of the Men in Black in the Men in Black series, and he was also an Emmy winner in 1996.
Baseball player Jim Bouton passed away on July 10th. He was 80. Bouton, we're trying not to do that many sports stars here, but Bouton deserves special mention. He wrote a book called Ball 4, which kind of exposed the behind the scenes of the baseball world in 1970. It later was turned into a television series with Booton as the star. It didn't go very far. He also appeared in The Long Goodbye. He was 80. Valentina Cortez passed away on July 10th as well. Legendary Italian actress, most famous for Brother, Sun, Sister, Moon, also appearing in Day for Night and Malaya and a number of other things over the years. And actress Denise Nickerson passed away on July 10th. She was 62. Nickerson got out of acting later in life. She quit at 18. But before she turned 18, she landed 3 very memorable roles. She was on the television series Dark Shadows for a number of years. She played Allison, a member of the Short Circus on the Electric Company, and is best known as Violet Beauregard from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
July 13th, Charles Levin's body was discovered, at the risk of sounding morbid, so we don't actually have a date of death. He was 70 years old. He was an American actor and featured on TV shows such as Hill Street Blues and Alice, and also Capitol News.
David Hedison passed away on July 18th. He was 92. Hedison was all over television and theater for many, many years. I remember seeing him on Murder, She Wrote. I remember seeing him on The Love Boat. I remember seeing him on daytime television, but he was best known as Captain Lee Crane on the television series Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, where he co-starred opposite Richard Basehart.
Mystery Science Theater 3000.
He was also in the original film The Fly.
Yes,
and
as the unfortunate scientist who winds up switching his head and arm with a housefly in a matter transporter
and a co-star in the Bond film Live and Let Die.
Yes.
This one is really tragic because I wish we didn't have to do it. But there was an attack at the Kyoto Animation Studio on July 18th in Tokyo, I believe. Kyoto. I think it was in Kyoto.
Yeah, it's Kyoto.
They lost 4 of their animators and colorists.
Yep. As TC mentioned, this was an arson attack, and unfortunately people wound up losing their lives during. Naomi Ishida was 49, a colorist that worked on Hayuka, Amagi Brilliant Park, and A Silent Voice. Yoshiji Kigami, who was 61, an animation director that worked on Munto, Tomato Market, and Nichiju. Futoishi Nishiya, who was 37, an animator and character designer on Clannad, Inuyasha, and Canon. And Yashiro Takemoto, who was 47, an animation director that worked on Hayuka, Amagi Brilliant Park, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
And kudos to you on those names. You're very good at those.
I did my best.
Yeah. July 19th saw us lose the legendary Rutger Hauer. Hauer was a massive star for many, many years, doing everything. He didn't do so much comedy, but he did straight drama as well as action films. Yep. Probably best known for roles like The Hitcher, Blade Runner, Nighthawks, and a number of other things.
Yep. And more recently being known for being the titular star of the film Hobo with a Shotgun, which started out life as a fake trailer, and people were so crazy for it, they went, well, hell, let's just make the movie.
And it was a huge hit.
Yep. Also on July 19th, Jeremy Kemp passed away. He was 84. He was a British actor that was involved with The Winds of War, the TV series Z-Cars, and the movie The Blue Max.
On July 22nd, Art Neville passed away. Art was one of the very tight-knit New Orleans-based group, the Neville Brothers. He was 81. I think he was the oldest of the brothers also, which also include Aaron Neville and a couple of other brothers. He was also in the Meters for a while. And Rosie Taylor passed away on July 26th. She was the voice of Minnie Mouse for over 20 years and also provided voiceovers for DuckTales, The Simpsons, and Disney's House of Mouse over the years. She was 75.
Yep. July 31st, the sunset on Harold Prince. He was 91 years old, an American theater director and producer involved with such projects as The Phantom of the Opera, Fiddler on the Roof, and West Side Story.
He was a legendary Broadway producer, yeah. D.A. Pennebaker passed away on August 1st. He was 94. Pennebaker was an American documentary filmmaker, usually connected with rock and roll documentaries, most notably the film Monterey Pop, which just got a restoration release a couple years ago, and the Backstage Chronicle Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, which chronicled David Bowie's legendary tour as that character.
Yep.
And another true Hall of Famer in the world of wrestling, Harley Race, passed away also on August 1st. He was 76. I knew Harley from his time in WCW, but he was around for 25 years before that.
Yeah, Harley Race was one of the original tough guys in pro wrestling. He was one of those people that you'd be like, yeah, I don't want to pick a fight with him. He was a multiple-time world champion and basically wrestled all over the world. Wasn't the flashiest guy ever, but you could definitely believe he'd kick your butt.
Oh, yeah.
That was very easy to believe about him. On August 4th, Stu Rosen passed away. He was a voice actor and also a director, involved with voiceover work and things like that. On such shows as Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling, The Legend of Prince Valiant, and Fraggle Rock, the animated series. He was 80 years old, and if we haven't mentioned it enough, cancer sucks.
Yeah. Toni Morrison passed away on August 5th. She was 88. Toni, of course, Nobel-winning, Pulitzer Prize-winning author. Books like The Bluest Eye, Song of Solomon, and Beloved. Jeffrey Epstein, who was arrested as a convicted sex offender at this particular time, and best known for his financier work, was found hanging in his jail cell on August 10th.
Yeah.
And people are still wondering whether it was actually a suicide.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Jeffrey Epstein's dead.
He was in
on.
trouble, yeah, really.
Moving on.
And on August 11th, Barbara March passed away. She was a Canadian actress who was known for all kinds of different character parts in both America and Canadian television. She's best known to most fans as Lursa, the scheming Klingon.
One of the Duras sisters.
Yeah, from Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yeah. August 13th, Dr. Demento fans had to take off our top hats and put them over our hearts to say goodbye to musician and professional weirdo, Kip Addotta, and I mean that in the nicest possible way.
No more wet dreams.
No more, well, speak for yourself, John. Kip was an American comedian, most of his comedy went through song, which is very difficult to do.
Yeah.
It's one thing to tell a joke, it's another thing to tell a joke in time with the music.
He's best known for A Fish Story, which was one of the funniest things to ever hit Dr. Demento.
Yeah, A Fish Story, which is also known as Wet Dream.
Yeah, it is full of nothing but bad fish puns, and
bad
it is hilarious.
Fish puns, a few double entendres, and some puns...
A few double entendres? There's a lot of double entendres in that.
And some puns that are so bad, even I wouldn't make them. That says a lot. He was 75.
August 16th, we lost the legendary Peter Fonda. He was 79. Peter, how do you describe the career of this man? He was
eclectic.
A writer.
Let's go with that.
A producer, a director, an actor. He did a little bit of everything.
Oh, yeah.
Probably, going, all the way back to Easy Rider, but he was still doing movies until just a couple years ago, and he appeared in some pretty interesting. To find him in Ghost Rider was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was very interesting to find him in Ghost Rider. He was one of the people that was.
Yeah.
He was one of the people that was part of the 60s. The generation
he was one of the leaders of the counterculture revolution.
And it was very easy to believe he was high a lot of the time in his films.
Yeah.
And we're just going to leave that right there. on the same day, we lost Anna Quayle. She was 86 years old, a British actress. Best known for her work in Great Britain on shows like Grange Hill and in films like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and in the Beatles' big screen debut, A Hard Day's Night. And she was also a Tony winner in 1963.
Yeah, I'd like to know what she won the Tony for. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Richard Williams passed away on August 16th as well. Richard was a well-known and beloved animator who, there was a great documentary about his struggle to bring The Thief and the Cobbler to the big screen, which took over 30 years and ended up getting cobbled into a terribly reviewed movie called Arabian Adventure. He also worked on A Christmas Carol and Who Framed Roger Rabbit, among other things.
We saw a really great. We saw that documentary as well.
It was terrific.
We saw it in Somerville at IFFB.
Yeah.
And it was really cool.
Sportscaster Jack Whitaker passed away on August 18th. He was 95. Jack was best known for his work with CBS Sports in the 1970s as the host of the NFL Today. And a man that might not be known to most people, but they know a parody of this gentleman. Jack Perkins passed away on August 19th. He was 85. Jack was best known in his early career as a regular on the NBC News team, a frequent anchor on the weekend editions of NBC Nightly News. He also hosted Biography on A&E and ended up succeeding Peter Graves as the A&E spokesperson in the late 80s, and is parodied beautifully by Mike Nelson in the episodes of Mystery Science Theater 3000 Hour that aired one summer in repeats where they were clipped down to just a few minutes. Brilliant impersonation. Right, dead on the money.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know how he felt about it, but...
I don't either. August 22nd, we lost Gerard O'Neill. Gerard is the investigative news reporter from the Boston Globe who won a Pulitzer in 1970 and is best known as the author of Black Mass, the story of Whitey Bulger that was later turned into a massive hit movie with Johnny Depp in the role of Bulger.
Who was mesmerizing and terrifying as the leader of the Winter Hill Gang. August 23rd, we said farewell to David Koch, who was 79 years old. He was a businessman, the head of Koch Industries, and also a political financier for a group called Americans for Prosperity. I have no clue what this is.
Actually, I think his name is pronounced Koch, actually,
Koch?
And he is one of the infamous Koch brothers that are always antagonizing certain parties of the political persuasion.
Oh, those ads.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And Sheila
I do pay attention to political stuff sometimes.
Sheila Stelfeld passed away also on August 23rd. She was 84, a South African-born actress who spent most of her time in Britain. She had done also the series The Ghost of Motley Hall, appeared in Quatermass in the Pit, and in Dalek's Invasion Earth 2150 AD. She also had a part in a classic episode of Are You Being Served as a hat customer that Mrs. Slocum has a bit of a tete-a-tete with.
Oh, that does suit Madam. That whole bit. August 24th, we said farewell to Andrew Horn, an American film director, producer, and screenwriter, so he did frickin' everything, including work on the Know Me song and We Are Twisted, I can't say the rest of it, Sister.
Twisted Effin' Sister.
Twisted Effin' Sister, okay. He was 66 years old.
August 25th, for those of you who don't know the name, and I've got to be honest, I threw it in here simply because I think he deserved mention. Al Haynes passed away. Al is an American hero who saved over half of the people on his airplane when they had a massive hydraulic malfunction. And anybody who has seen the footage from that crash in Sioux City, Iowa in 1989 would just completely freak out that more than half the people survived that plane crash. He was considered an American hero and a big hero among professional pilots. He was 87. And someone we both loved passed away on August 27th with such a shock. Jessie Combs was just 39 years old, best known for her roles as a television host on shows like Extreme 4x4 and Overhaulin'. She had substituted for one season on Mythbusters, replacing Carrie Byron, who was out pregnant. She lost her life in a jet car crash. She was trying to break her own land speed record. She was just 39. And I mean, brilliant, incredibly vibrant young lady.
When someone like that dies doing something like that, we try and tell ourselves, well, at least they died doing something they loved, you know, and that's true, but there's also they died, which sucks. Well, you know, it does suck. I mean, you can't say it any other way. August 29th, Terrence Dix passed away. He was 84 years old. Don't do that. Oh my gosh, could you be a little bit mature?
No, that's not why I'm laughing.
Oh.
Anybody out there who knows us, Terrence Dix is a name that's very well known from
Yes.
Doctor Who fans. He had so much to do with the way he created Gallifrey. He created the myth of the Time Lords. He created the John Pertwee version of Doctor Who, and continues
Which
to
makes
do.
him incredibly awesome because John
He
Pertwee's
is like
Doctor
one
was
of the most
awesome.
important people in Doctor Who history,
Yes.
as well as everything else he did in British television,
Including
and movies.
Crossroads and Space in 1999.
Cross that last one off your resume.
No, hold up. No, wait. If he's one of the reasons that occasionally that show could be good, then that's, a check. It could be pretty neat.
No.
I liked Maya. She was awesome.
Ugh.
August 30th, we said goodbye to Gordon Brassac. He was 68 years old. He was a writer for American television on shows like Pinky and the Brain and Animaniacs, and also Bionic 6, which a lot of people may not remember. And also the same day, sadly, we lost Valerie Harper. She was 80 years old.
Valerie had been fighting brain cancer for a number of years. The 4-time Emmy winner, 71, 72, 73, and 75, all for her role as Rhoda Morgenstern on both the Mary Tyler Moore Show and Rhoda.
Yep.
She was just terrific. And also starred in Valerie later on in the in
and
her
was
career.
truly inspirational during her turn on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, she was going through chemo at the time when she was doing that show. And it was really, really something. On September 3rd, LaShawn Daniels passed away. LaShawn was a songwriter, best known for Destiny Child's Say My Name. That's who did that, right? Destiny's Child? Say my name, say my name.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wrote that one and a number of other big hits over the years. He was 41, killed in a car accident. And Carol Lindley passed away on September 3rd as well. Carol, character actress, known for TV movies and big screen movies like Bunny Lake is Missing and Harlow, but will probably always be best remembered as Nani, the lounge singer that was one of the survivors of the Poseidon adventure. She lip syncs to another version of The Morning After that was actually a hit for singer Marie McGovern after the movie came out.
September 4th, Kylie Ray Harris was killed in a traffic collision. She was 30 years old, an American country singer.
Fast-rising country singer on the circuit.
That's so very sad.
Yep. Robert Axelrod passed away on September 7th. He was an actor who did everything from The Blob to voiceover work on Digimon and live-action work on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And John Wesley passed away. He was 72. Wesley was an actor who again, was one of those, hey, it's that guy there. Because he was tall, good-looking, gray hair. You never missed him. Stop
You
or My
couldn't
Mom
miss
Will
him.
Shoot.
He was so tall.
Yeah, Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, Superhuman Samurai, Cyber Squad. Who remembers that show? And
besides you
Hang
and
'em
me,
High,
anybody? I don't know.
among his accomplishments.
Yep. T. Boone Pickens passed away on September 11th of this year. He was 91 years old, an American businessman and, more importantly, a philanthropist. And September 13th, we said goodbye to one of my favorite singers from the 70s and 80s. Eddie Money passed away. He was 70 years old. I think probably best known to the MTV crowd for videos like I Think I'm in Love, Take Me Home Tonight, and was a songwriter for 2 Tickets to Paradise and Baby Hold On, also hits of his.
And played on stage in the series, in the 2 Tickets to Paradise, the Eddie Money Story play by Jesse Kench of Rising Star fame. When he was just 17 years old. He was playing Eddie at 30. That's scary. Phyllis Newman passed away on September 15th. Character actress known for her voracious beauty, her bubbly, smart aleck attitude in many dramas. And an actress I never understood why my mother just couldn't stand her. I don't know why. I always thought she was great. She appeared in stuff like Subways Are for Sleeping, To Find a Man, in the 80s movie Mannequin. And American Hall of Fame musician Rick Ocasek of the Cars passed away. He was 75. He's the second or third member of that band to lose their life to cancer. Or actually, his was cardiovascular disease. He was best known, of course, as the tall, sunglasses-wearing leader of that band, did most of the lead singing on their songs.
What's your favorite Cars song?
Drive.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I'm
I love
not
that
sure
song.
what-
And that's
I'm-
Benjamin Orr doing lead on that, too.
Yeah, I'm not sure what my favorite is. I think maybe by My Best Friend's Girl.
That's
I
a
think
good
it's
song.
probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Mike Stefanuck also passed away on September 15th. He was 61 years old. He was an American race driver and a 7-time NASCAR Wellen Modified Tour champion, which is very impressive. It'd be more impressive if I knew what it meant. He drives real fast. That's good. Unfortunately, he lost his life in a plane crash.
Sander Van Oker also passed away that day. He was 91. Sander was best known as an anchorman for, I think he appeared on all 3 networks at any given time. In the later years of his life, he also started pushing himself out as an actor, doing newsreaders and stuff in movies, and ended up playing himself in the CBS Halloween night scary presentation of a news simulation movie called Without Warning. If you've never seen it, it's worth finding. Freaked Kim out when we saw it.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the one that we saw that
yeah.
I was just like, hold me. Please hold me.
It was,
yeah.
I looked it up.
Oh, man.
It was an original found footage type thing.
Yeah.
And he anchors it as himself, not as a character.
It's one of those
it was
nuclear disaster things that was very prominent.
No, it's Alien Invasion.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that one was.
Yeah.
That one screwed me up.
Cokie Roberts passed away on September 17th. Cokie, best known for her work with ABC News, but she was a regular performer, or commentator rather, on PBS's political shows over the years, and she was 75. And Suzanne Wang lost her long battle with breast cancer on September 17th. Suzanne, the popular host of House Hunters, and also had done acting in Las Vegas and a few other things. Just 56.
Jan Merlin passed away on September 20th. He was 94 years old, an American actor in such films as Gunfight at Comanche Creek, Take the Money and Run, and The Twilight People. September 21st, we said farewell to Jack Donner, who was 90 when he passed. He was an American actor, and in such projects as Four Christmases and on TV, in As the World Turns and All About Evil.
Aaron Eisenberg passed away on September 21st as well, best known as Nog on the TV series Star Trek Deep Space Nine. He also did a lot of other mostly horror films, actually, the Prayer of the Roller Boys and Horror Show. And a horror icon also passed away that day, Sid Haig. He was 80. He'd been suffering from a lung infection for a while. Sid was best known for his work in horror films all over the world, mostly the Rob Zombie trilogy.
Yeah, he started off mostly just doing work as heavies, and some of you older folks like you and me might remember him from his turn as the head bad guy on the CBS series Jason of Star Command.
It's the first place I ever saw him, actually.
Yeah. But
he was also in THX 1138.
And he was a real sweet guy.
Yeah, he was known to be a really nice guy. Ventriloquist Jimmy Nelson passed away on September 24th. He was 90. Nelson was best known for one character, although he did many. His Farfel the dog was a regular on the Jerry Dean Show, I believe, and a couple of other shows in the 1950s, where he would promote Nestle's, right? Nestle's chocolate?
Oh, that guy, yeah.
Nestles.
Right, yeah.
Nestle's makes the very best chocolate.
Yep, that was him.
That was him. He had a stroke. He was 90. And Linda Porter, the beloved elderly employee at Superstore, passed away. She was 86. She was also seen in Twin Peaks, the new version, and Where's My Car? She had become a new icon of the sitcom Superstore, and will be sorely missed by her fans. Actor Rob Garrison passed away on September 27th. He was 59. Rob did a bunch of episodics, usually as a young teenager or an early 20-something college character, but he's best known for one role, one part, the part of, I believe it was Tommy, wasn't it? Was his name in the movie? He was one of the Cobra Kai members in the 1984 hit The Karate Kid. He reprised his role in an episode of the YouTube hit series Cobra Kai, which revisits that movie 30 years later with original stars William Zabka and Ralph Macchio. He's been ill for a while, unfortunately.
September 28th, we said goodbye to Jose. who was 71 when he passed. He was a Mexican singer, known for the songs El Triste and Como Tu, and was also an actor in Gavilan o Paloma. And he will definitely be missed by people who enjoyed both his singing and acting abilities. Mm-hmm. And on September 30th, we said goodbye to Jesse Norman, who was 74, an American opera singer and 4-time Grammy winner in 1984, 1988, 89, and 98, and a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award recipient in 2006.
Some of you who don't know opera might remember her in the 80s for her long-running ad that she did, a public service announcement for the United Negro College Fund, where she would sing opera on camera and talk about it. We have a few more months to go, and we will talk about them next.
When Subject Cinema returns.
T.C. Kirkham and Kim Brown. Subject Cinema.
All right, Kristen, I am so excited that you've decided to do a podcast with me, but what are we going to do a podcast about? There's so many other movie podcasts. We got to do something original.
Well, I'm a big fan of Disney movies. What about something like that?
That's just kid stuff. What do we want to do that for?
Did you know that The Avengers is a Disney movie? Or that Pulp Fiction is a Disney movie?
Pulp Fiction is not a Disney movie.
It's technically owned by Miramax, which is part of Disney.
We are still going to talk about the Disney animated movies, though, right?
I thought you said that was kid stuff.
Well, I've got 2 kids. I got to be a good dad and stuff.
So be sure to subscribe to the Walt Sent Me podcast, where we discuss the various subsidiaries of the Walt Disney Studios, including the animated movies.
It's available on iTunes, Podomatic, and wherever you find great podcasts. And I swear, it's not kid stuff.
The best movies. Subject Cinema.
Welcome back to part 3 of Subject Cinema's 2019, the year in review. I'm T.C. Kirkham.
Hi, I'm Kim Brown.
This episode is devoted to the rest of the people we lost this year. We are trying to pay tribute to them and make everybody aware that they're no longer with us, unfortunately.
Yep.
One of those people passed away on October 2nd. Kim Shattuck was best known as the leader of the punk group The Muffs, but she also appeared did parts in the Pixies and the Pandoras over her career. Considered to be one of the seminal female punk rockers of the 80s, calling Joan Jett and people like that her inspiration. She was well loved in the music community as well.
Yep. Diane Carroll passed away on October 4th of this year. She was 84 years old. One of the most beautiful women on TV.
Easily.
Absolutely one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. She had her own show called Julia.
She was the first African-American woman to ever lead her own series.
Yes. And she also appeared on Dynasty, usually linking claws with Joan Collins' character Alexis. As Diane played Dominique. Yeah.
Dominique Devereaux, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she also starred in Claudine, and she was a 1962 Tony winner.
Mm-hmm. Stephen Moore passed away. He was 81 on October 4th. He was a character actor known for all kinds of movies, usually based in his native Britain, including appearing in A Bridge Too Far, The Last Place on Earth, and The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Mm-hmm. October 6th, we lost Ginger Baker, one of the top drummers of all time. Ginger, best known for his work with Blind Faith and Cream with his buddy Eric Clapton, also in Ginger Baker's Air Force, and the star of Beware of Mr. Baker, a documentary about his life. Mm-hmm. Karen Pendleton passed away on October 6th as well. Karen, one of the original Mickey Mouse Club members from the 1950s. She was the little blonde girl that was there with Cubby, usually, at the forefront. She was 73. And actor and comedian Rip Taylor passed away. He was 88. And I've got to be honest, I thought he passed away years ago. I hadn't seen him forever. Yeah. I always thought he was funny when he was on.
You usually talk about pouring one out for somebody in Rip's case, we'd be dumping one out because we'd be dumping out a bag of confetti.
Yeah. He was the best known as a regular on the talk show and game show circuits in the 70s and 80s, but he's also been a longtime Vegas performer and best known as a host on the $1.98 Beauty Show, which was Chuck Barris's terrible attempt at mocking beauty show. And he was the boss angel on the WTBS original sitcom Down to Earth from 1983 to 1987.
Mm-hmm. October 8th, Reg Watson passed away. He was 93 years old and a television producer from Australia.
One of the most influential. Mm-hmm. He created Prisoner and Neighbors, both of which went on to become two of their longest-running series.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And also Sons and Daughters. He was also a screenwriter. Juliet Kaplan passed away on the 10th of October. She was 80 years old, an actress from Great Britain, involved with, on the small screen, she appeared on such shows as Coronation Street, or Corey Street, as it's also known, and Last of the Summer Wine.
Sam Brobeck passed away on October 11th. He's an American television writer responsible for everything from the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour and Gomer Pyle USMC to something as banal as Saved by the Bell. He was 87. Actor Robert Forster passed away also on October 11th. He was 78. Forster wasn't known to our generation as much as he was to the one before. He was best known for his roles in 60s and 70s television, but he continued to work throughout the 90s and 2000s in films like Jackie Brown and also in the classic movies like The Black Hole. And October 13th, quite a unique man passed away. Scotty Bowers was 96. Scotty was the subject of last year's hit documentary, Scotty and the Secret Hollywood... Let me get this right. I'll never get it right. Scotty and the Secret Agenda of Hollywood, was that it?
Something like
he
that.
was a pimp to the stars.
Mm-hmm.
He basically set up both hetero and homosexual liaisons between actors, actresses, so on. Secret History of Hollywood, that's what it is.
Yep.
He was quite a character. There's a book, he wrote the book about that whole thing, Full Service.
Mm-hmm.
And but despite the fact that, it all came out and he was not really telling names and stuff, he was well loved by the Hollywood community for most of his life.
Yeah. Not sure how well he was loved by the people he was exploiting, but anyway, we're going to just leave that alone.
Yeah.
October 16th, we said goodbye to John Clark. He was 88, an American actor that was best known for his work on Days of Our Lives.
Days of Our Lives, he was on the show as Mickey Horton from its inception until 2013, I think they said. So it was a long
time, yeah.
Bob Kingsley, the longtime host of America's Country Countdown, the country version of American Top 40, passed away on October 17th. He was 80. And Bill Macy passed away. He was 97. Bill, a character actor you couldn't get away from. He did everything, movies and television, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, right up to his passing. But he's best known as B. Arthur's husband, Walter, from the mid-70s sitcom Maude.
Yep. Also, Mr. Macy was known, I think, maybe just as well known, for having one line in the original version of Mel Brooks's The Producers. Mm-hmm. He is the jury foreman who gives the verdict of incredibly guilty for Zero Mostel and Gene Wilder's characters.
Yeah.
You may go? Okay. The 21st of October, Jerry Fogel passed away. He was 83 years old. He was an American actor on such programs as The White Shadow and The Mothers-in-Law.
Record producer Ed Cherney passed away on October 22nd. He was 69. Cherney did all kinds of stuff and journeyed back and forth between America and Canada to do different artists. Worked with a number of people, everyone from Elton John to Jan Arden and everybody in between. He was 69. And legendary film producer and studio executive Robert Evans passed away on the 26th. He was 89. Evans produced some of the biggest hits of the 70s, including Chinatown and Marathon Man, and then stepped into a role as an executive as the head of Paramount Studios in the early 80s for a while.
John Witherspoon passed away on the 29th of October. He was 77. An American actor known for his work on the movie Friday, and also working with the Wayans brothers, and was a voice actor on The Boondocks.
Mm-hmm. Anne Crumb passed away on October 31st. She was 69. and did a lot of features, but she's best known as one of Broadway's brightest stars. She did a number of shows over her long Broadway career, and she was also a singer, best known on the screen, I think, for her role in Anna Karenina. And Rudy Boesch passed away on November 1st. Rudy was a former American Navy SEAL who became a big star thanks to the reality series Survivor. He was one of the winners of that. He was also on Survivor All-Stars and eventually hosted the show Combat Missions, I believe was on Smithsonian Channel. It might have been on History Channel. I don't remember which one.
Yeah.
He was 91. And we lost Jan in the Pan.
Yes, we did. Virginia Leith passed away all this year. She was 94. She was an American actress. She did, quite a few things, including, Fear and Desire, but she's best known for her work as the unfortunate fiancée of the mad scientist, in the schlock classic, The Brain That Wouldn't Die. Her character, Jan, winds up being decapitated in an auto accident, and she is kept alive in a pan, sans the rest of her, by her crazy fiancé as he searches out a body to attach her head to. Mm-hmm. The character became known, thanks to, again, Mystery Science Theater 3000, as Jan in the Pan, and the rest, as they say, is history.
Laurel Griggs passed away on November 5th, the 13-year-old actress who starred in the Broadway version of the brilliant film Once, had an asthma attack that took her life, shocking the entire Broadway community. Mm-hmm. She was known for being super friendly, and she'd been a part of Broadway since she was very small. Mm-hmm. William Wintersole also passed away on November 5th from cancer. He was another long-serving soap man, and in addition to doing time on General Hospital, he was also a regular on The Young and the Restless for almost 30 years, and he also appeared in I think it's a film about Lead Belly, not a documentary. So that was I love these guys that have all these long soap roles.
Nick Powell passed away on November 7th at the age of 69. He was a British film producer and a record executive, one of the co-founders of Virgin Records, but from 2003 to 2017 was the director of the National Film and Television School.
November 8th saw us lose Jackie Moore. Jackie was a singer and songwriter who did best known for her she had 2 or 3 minor hits in the disco era, and hadn't really been seen since then. November 16th, if you were a teenager in the late 60s, or younger, preteen maybe, you might remember the name Browning Bryant. Browning Bryant was 62. Bryant made headlines when he was a 13-year-old, when he cut his first album. And you look at that baby face, he was kind of like the reverse Wayne Newton. At 13, he had a voice as rich and deep as Jim Nabors and was doing all of the TV circuit. He had a number of, he's best known for his cover of the Maudlin teen suicide song Patches, which was the title track from his first album. Yep. But he did a number of big albums that did well for the next couple of years. Never had a major pop hit, though. Jake Burton passed away on November 20th. His full name was Jake Burton Carpenter. Burton, of course, the founder of Burton Snowboards, one of the true pioneers of extreme sports as we know them. And Michael J. Pollard passed away on November 20th as well. Pollard, what can you say? He's another counterculture kid that just...
Yeah, and he was another one of those, oh, hey, it's that guy people. Michael was 80 years old and passed away from cardiac arrest. He was an actor that was in everything from a film like Bonnie and Clyde to Scrooged, House of a Thousand Corpses, and may also be, and is remembered from our generation, as playing John, one of the onlys left on a disease-ravaged planet in the original series of Star Trek episode Miri.
Yeah, Joan Staley passed away on November 24th. She is another longtime model and actress who did everything from the original Untouchables and 77 Sunset Strip to comedy as the romantic interest of Don Knotts in The Ghost of Mr. Chicken.
Well, somebody had to be.
Movie I cannot stand. I hate that movie with all my heart and soul.
Godfrey,
she was 79.
Godfrey Gao passed away at age 35, which is way too young.
It is, yeah.
On November 27th, he was a Taiwanese Canadian model and actor, appeared in the Mortal Instruments City of Bones, Love is a Broadway Hit, and Legend of the Ancient Sword.
And Sir Jonathan Miller passed away that same day. He was 85. Jonathan Miller was known as a comedian and humorist in Britain, but Americans remember him from being a presenter on a number of documentaries presented by the BBC that aired on PBS here in America in the 70s and 80s. He was 85 years old. There were three major stars, feline stars, on the internet when cat videos took over the planet.
Yep.
There was Maru. There was Grumpy Cat, who passed away earlier this year, and on December 1st, we lost that second one, Little Bub. Little Bub was 8, starred in his own film, Little Bub and Friends, which also featured both Maru and Grumpy Cat. I mean, this cat was so adorable. It was disgusting.
Super cute.
And he had the same, like Grumpy Cat had, he had a affliction which caused his tongue to always hang out.
Yeah.
And
instead of like Grumpy Cat, who always looked pissed, Little Bub always just kind of had this kind of surprised, wide-eyed look, and he was just super cute.
Yeah, I mean, Maru's the only one left of the big three. And he's getting up there. He's 13, so it's like, yeah.
Shelley Morrison also passed away on December 1st. She was an actress that was involved in a lot of television, including Will and Grace, The Flying Nun way back in the day, and General Hospital. She was 83 years old.
On December 2nd, Richard Easton passed away, a Canadian actor best known for series The Brothers, also in film Henry V and Revolutionary Road, and it was a Tony winner in 2001, and another Star Trek alum. Yeah. But not on the TV side.
But every fan,
on screen.
But every old school fan knew the name DC Fontana.
She wrote some of the best episodes and quite a few of the novelizations, did she not?
Yeah.
DC was 80. She was just fantastic. She also wrote for the Streets of San Francisco and the Waltons over the years. And you remember the Spelling Goldberg productions?
Yeah.
We lost Aaron Spelling a few years ago, and this year we lost Leonard Goldberg. Goldberg was a producer of Charlie's Angels, Blue Bloods, War Games. He ended up president of 20th Century Fox for a couple of years. He was 85.
Robert Walker Jr. passed away on December 5th at the age of 79. He was an actor that was the son of Robert Walker Sr., who most people would remember from his role in Strangers on a Train. Jr. followed his dad into acting in such films as Ensign Pulver, also in The Ceremony, and in the original series.
Star Trek connection
and in the original series Star Trek, he was the tortured and superpowered and exceedingly dangerous Charlie Evans in the episode Charlie X.
December 6th, we saw Ron Liebman pass away. Ron was 82. He's another one of these actors who is known for doing Broadway movies, television. He won an Emmy for his short-lived series Cats was that what he won? Yeah, for that show in the in the 1970s. He was in Norma Ray. He was a star of Angels in America, which won him a Tony Award. He was married to Linda Lavin for a while in the 80s. And I remember him from a role he actually removed his name from. The god-awful Animal House ripoff, Mad Magazine Presents Up the Academy, where he plays the slightly insane, sexually deviant commandant of the school. He's funny as hell in that, though, I gotta say. And we keep losing these Star Trek people.
I know.
Renee Auberjonois passed away on December 8th. Renee, he's another one that has done so much over his career. You see him in movies.
Yeah.
You see him in TV. He was probably best known for one of two television roles, either Clayton Endicott III on the long-running television comedy series Benson, or as shape-shifting security head Odo on Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Yes, and on the big screen, He was Father Mulcahy in the Robert Altman version of MASH that was on the big screen long before William Christopher took over the role on the small screen. And he was also a very, very nice dude. One of our friends met him at a con.
Well, we saw him at a con. We didn't actually meet him. They did. It was like,
and they said he was like super nice.
He also did a lot of voiceover work. I remember him. I asked him at the thing we went to if he remembered doing a television show called Photon. He did one of the bad guys for that show.
He didn't.
He had no idea what it was. Juice WRLD passed away on December 8th as well. Juice WRLD, one of the fastest rising young rappers on the planet. He was just 21 years old. He had a seizure walking through an airport, I believe in Detroit, somewhere up north in America. And it turns out the seizure was caused by a bunch of drugs he swallowed to keep the cops from finding him when he got off the plane.
Yeah.
What a waste of talent. And I'll let you talk about Carol.
Okay.
He was marvelous.
The same day we lost Carol Spinney. He was 85 years old. An American puppeteer. He was the voice and the soul, I would say, of a lot of characters, but most famously Big Bird and everybody's favorite green curmudgeon, Oscar the Grouch.
He brought Oscar with him when he came to the Brattle Theater a couple years ago.
Yeah, we saw they ran a film that was about him, and he was there with his lovely wife. He went off stage, and then Oscar poked his head around the side of the Brattle Cinema, and a theater full of adults lost their minds.
That's what happened when Kevin Clash brought out Elmo when Being Elmo was out.
Yeah.
Carol was just... He is an American icon. And,
he was a treasure.
Big Bird. I mean, no offense to the gentleman who took it over last year. He's been understudying Carol for almost a decade.
Yeah,
and he's terrific in the role. December 9th, Boston people were deeply saddened by the loss of Pete Frates. Pete was a Boston College baseball star who was stricken with ALS very young. He became a national hero for ALS, a champion, and was the creator of the Insane Ice Bucket Challenge, which raised millions of dollars for ALS research in 2015, 16. And Marie Fredriksson, the lead singer of the Swedish duo Roxette, passed away after nearly a decade of fighting a brain tumor. She was 61. That saddened me immensely because I loved Roxette. They were great. And another actor that our age remembers, because they're our generation, but someone who hasn't done acting in a long time, Philip McKeon passed away on December 10th. He was just 55. Philip was a very active young actor when he was on the television series Alice. He played Tommy Hyatt on that show for 9 seasons. After Alice, he continued to do a few things behind the scenes, but pretty much stayed out of the spotlight to allow younger sister Nancy to take over the acting career and shoot to stardom in The Facts of Life and a number of other shows. Philip had been ill for a number of years during his term as a radio DJ host in Texas. He was just 55.
Danny Aiello passed away on the 12th of December. He was 86 years old. Danny was in so many classic films, and some that weren't, although we do know people who like them. He was in films like Do the Right Thing and The Godfather Part 2 and Moonstruck.
And Hudson Hawk.
That's the one I was talking about people that like it, and they're welcome to it.
Would you like to sing a star?
Could we not, please? He can.
I have a friend who loves that movie.
He was just so very charming. Such a charming man. December 14th, we said goodbye to Chuy Bravo, who was 63. He was an American actor born in Mexico and was a person that you saw on TV if you were a person that watched Chelsea Handler's show, Chelsea Lately and After Lately. He passed away suddenly from a heart attack.
Anna Karenina also passed away on December 14th. The Danish legend, Danish-born legend who made a career in France, was one of the muses of Jean-Luc Godard. She starred in My Life to Live, A Woman is a Woman, and Alphaville, among other things. On December 15th, character actor Nicky Henson passed away. Nicky was based in London and it was native of Britain. He was best known for his long-running role on the soap EastEnders, as well as appearing in Syriana and Shine On Harvey Moon. And radio passed away on December 15th. His real name was James Kennedy. He was the subject of the Cuba Gooding Jr. biopic Radio, and was an American football fan that movie helped shoot to fame nationally.
Yep. December 17th, Peter Wollen passed away. He was a British film theorist and filmmaker. He was 81 years old.
Yeah, if there's something that you want to know about film, he wrote the definitive book on it in the 1960s and then revised it in the 1980s. And the closest thing that's come to it now is the more recent The Story of Film. But this guy's books are well thought of. Claudine Auger passed away on December 18th. Claudine, best known for her role as the Bond girl in James Bond's Thunderball film. She was also Miss France Monde in 1958. And football coach Herman Boone passed away on December 18th as well. He was the subject of the biopic and later television series Remember the Titans, where I believe he was played by Kyle Chandler, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
I don't recall.
I'm not sure. He was 84.
On December 22nd, Tony Britton passed away. He was 95 years old. He was an actor from Great Britain, involved with projects such as Operation Amsterdam, Sunday, Bloody Sunday, and The Day of the Jackal.
Ailey Wills passed away on December 24th. She was 72. Wills was a member of the Songwriting Hall of Fame, known for the lyrics of the Broadway musical The Color Purple, but best known for two pop songs, the Earth, Wind & Fire song September, which she wrote the lyrics for, and the theme from Friends, I'll Be There For You.
Yes.
And Edward Ashoff passed away also on December 24th. It was his 34th birthday. Edward was a well-known sports reporter for ESPN and passed away due to a complication of pneumonia. Christmas Day, we lost Lee Mendelsohn. If the name sounds familiar, it should. Everybody in our generation has seen that name on every single Peanuts special that hit television.
Yep.
He was one of the producers of that and is the last of the big three, the first being Charles Schultz, the second Lee Melendez, who did the animation, to pass on. He produced everything beginning from A Charlie Brown Christmas right through the most recent projects. The first thing that they did without him is the new Apple TV series, Snoopy in Space.
Yep. Jerry Herman passed away on December 26th. He was an American composer. He passed away at the age of 88. Did some of the music for some of the most timeless shows on Broadway,
yes,
including Hello Dolly, Mame, and La Cage aux Folles. And he was, besides being a composer, he was also a lyricist.
Yep.
And Sue Lyon passed away. She was 73. Sue would be best known to our generation and probably the generation after as being the female star in a film that shocked the pearls off people back in the day. She was the titular Lolita in the film of the same name. She also appeared in Seven Women and The Night of the Iguana.
And on December 27th, we lost radio talk show legend Don Imus. Don was 79. Don was around for 40 years in the both music and talk genre. I remember when Don was on WCFL in Chicago when I was a kid. He was jockeying Top 40 radio at the time. More recently, he became known for his outspoken political views and had his show run on various networks over the years.
And get yanked on various networks.
Got a bit of trouble a few years ago for referring to the University of Kentucky's women's basketball team as a bunch of nappy-headed hoes.
Something
like
to that effect.
Which he got the boot almost immediately, but he was back on the air within a year. He did openly apologize to them, invited them to dinner and apologized to them because he didn't, it was his old school thinking that he claimed it was. It was a terrible thing to say, but
it was
what
awful
most
thing
people are
to
going to
say.
remember him for, which is a shame because he was a truly dynamite disc jockey. Over the last couple of days, we've lost a couple more people. Neil Innes passed away yesterday. Neil was best known as the Seventh Python. He co-created Rutland Weekend Television with Eric Idle and later starred with him in the Ruddles movie and later musical projects. He also was part of the Python troupe in the final season of the show. And I'm sorry, there's somebody else, and I've forgotten who it is, so we'll bring it up tomorrow. But there is and I forgot one way back in January I want to mention too that I totally forgot. So we'll get those in on tomorrow's show. And we know we have rattled this off, and it's taken us forever, but we wanted to make sure that you all knew of all those wonderful people that we lost this year. Some of them have had long careers. Some of them will be indelibly remembered, like Virginia Leith, always remembered as Jan in the Pan.
Yep.
And we lost so many young people like Cameron Boyce.
Yeah, and some of them should be forgotten in the annals of history. Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah.
I know. We are coming up just one day away from our final new year in review show, where we are going to talk about our favorite films of the year. And that means the Just 'Cause We Can awards. Woo! We're going to have just crazy awards for you on tomorrow's show, plus name our favorite film of the year. And we'll help you count down your New Year's countdowns to resolution.
Yeah.
As we get ready to enter the true space age, 2020. Woo!
Neat.
That's exciting. Thank you for that wonderful buzz of excitement, dear.
Well, they said, oh my gosh, we're in the year 2000. It's the future. We still don't have matter transporters.
Or flying cars.
Or lightsabers.
We don't need lightsabers.
Working lightsabers.
You can't have a lightsaber.
Aww.
For Subject Cinema, I'm T.C. Kirkham.
I'm Kim Brown.
May your popcorn always be buttered.
And may your roses always be in bloom.
We'll see you on New Year's Eve.
Bye.
You have been listening to Subject Cinema with hosts T.C. Kirkham and Kim Brown. Subject Cinema is produced by PNRNetworks, Boston, Massachusetts, which is solely responsible for its content. Subject Cinema theme performed by Eric Lyon. Subject Cinema is recorded and produced using Sony Vegas products. Subject Cinema is copyright 2018 by PNRNetworks under a Creative Commons license. Check out a new episode of Subject Cinema every weekend. Until next time, this is Bob Taylor for Subject Cinema, and we'll see you at the movies.
That's all.
Podcasting's choice. From coast to coast, continent to continent, right here 24/7.